Read a brief bit of the article. Or just the title?
Just the title, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can read like maybe the first sentence or whatever.
Wait, but the first sentence is she's just talking about somebody messaging her.
Yeah, about the DMX thing. DMX and Prince of Winterfell.
Yeah. But yeah, go on.
Right. So the question, so the article title is "Why as a black woman my loyalty lies with Prince Philip and not the rapper DMX?" And she basically writes this article because she said she received a nasty message from a woman who'd followed her for years, telling her that she was no longer a follower of hers because she didn't pay any tribute to American rapper DMX, but instead chose to honour Prince Philip, who she called a racist who never cared about black people. She said, apparently I'm licking the asses of white people for fame and money.
My thing for that, yeah, and we're gonna break down the article in a minute. My thing for that is, I don't get why. What respects do you need to pay to Prince Philip? Like, let's deal with that one first. What respects? You see, is his face, bro? You know when you sit there, you think about it, you say to yourself, before he even got onto the news, before any of these people were even considered in a critical condition, was you paying any respects to them in general? Like, was you rocking with the royal family? She's probably one of the women there that was cussing the royal family a month ago when it was the whole Meghan and Harry thing was kicking off.
She mentions her still.
Yeah,
she mentions Meghan Markle.
She has a problem. She don't like Meghan Markle.
Yeah, she's doing the most right now. My girl. You go first.
Yeah.
You go first, innit?
I don't know. I think. Okay, so wait.
Yeah.
So in regards to what she's saying, I feel like a part of me, the first thought that went through my head is, why do I care who your loyalty lies with? Why is this a public thing? Like, why do we care this much that why have you even gone out of your way to write a whole article talking about your defense for a man who don't care about you, don't even know you exist? Do you get what I mean? I'm a bit. So I think that was my initial feeling because it was just a bit like, this doesn't sound like a man that you've honoured on a regular basis. It sounds like you maybe watch BBC and you watch their back-to-back documentary on him, and then you've written this big tribute to say how much you care about him. But that's the impression I got of it.
Well, I read it, yeah. I read it twice, but I haven't got to really look into her background of who she is, yeah. But you see what it is with these like, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like this online,
it's like a blogger or something like that.
Yeah, this online. You know, I'm just gonna say it, innit? Like, there's a lot of black women bloggers, fam, and they talk a certain way, and it's like they'll say certain things that I truly understand because they're black. But then there's always a little bit of that twist of the feminism, the anti-evil patriarchy, this, that, and the third, the toxic masculinity. The women that use the word misogynoir bare times, like them black women, you get me? And then
following the title.
And then you got what I would call a more reasonable, easy to understand black woman, like say Vicky. And I had to make that distinction with her right next to me because you see, when I speak on this woman now, yeah, a bag of people are just going to say, oh, he's hating black women and tear, like they don't know who man's woman is or whatever else. So like, let's just kill that now, innit? But like, what I'm saying is this, yeah, with people like her, I feel that they just make articles like this just to get some clout and some attention. And it's thinly veiled in a bit of hatred for black people generally, specifically black men. But not just any black man, because her man might be black, but there's a certain type of black man. You get me? This is DMX we're talking about. I know there's a bag of gal that's got an issue with a DMX when he's not your man. When he's yours, it's cool though. You get me?
I know enough guys that love DMX.
Yeah,
you know what I was there. Yeah,
man knows, and like DMX, like man knows. So what I'm saying is, with people like her, the fact that because if Prince Philip didn't die, I don't even think she'd be talking about him in that context. So it's like she's drawn a comparison. I even find it weird that people are talking about Prince Philip and DMX in the same sentence. I don't even know where that even comes from.
This is what I'm saying, bro. There must be some form of like hidden kind of because for me it's like one guy was breaking it down. One guy called Red Pill. He was breaking it down, saying, you know, I think Prince Philip died on the 99th day of the year, on the 9th of April, and you know, so in my head I'm thinking, all right, cool. You know, I don't know, but I just find it so weird that you're gonna put a prince of the royal family, and it's not even like it's like you're putting in one of the most nastiest kind. You know, ones there, fam, next to DMX, and I don't get it because DMX was a legend, an icon, but he was in a critical state. So it wasn't like DMX is a billionaire that's just gone and died, or you know, ones there like. I just didn't get the whole. When I saw that, I definitely said, "No, that's weird. That's weird."
But that's the other thing, though. That's the other thing. You're saying DMX here. He means different things to different people. Like I know when DMX, like his first album come out, I know what you was doing. I can't remember how old you are, Vic. So what I'm saying is, I know what kind of raves you were going. I know what kind of things you were studying, what was going on during the time, who was beefing with who was going through what. Like, man knows, innit? So when people talk about DMX here, different people are talking about him for different reasons. There's people that's just talking about DMX because he's popular in terms of his interviews on the Breakfast Club or something like that. I'm a guy, I've got 12-inch records of DMX, bro. Like that tune he made called Niggas Done Started Something with Mace and the Locks and all that. That's my thing, innit? Like I've got that on vinyl to this day. So then you got man like me, just like I got Cannabis records and Nori records and whatever else. These people don't know who these people are. Like those people know who DMX is because of Nori's podcast, his Drink Champs thing. They don't know who DMX is really prior to that. You get what I'm trying to say? They know about all the controversy, being on drugs and going jail, rehab and all them kind of stuff, but they don't know. I've got bare of his albums like on CD.
I was just telling Vicky about the documentary that the hip hop documentary, I think it was 2004.
Yeah.
That he did on him. And I was just saying, like the scene that always got me was the part where, you know, he talks about drinking a bottle of perfume because he was so hungry. Him and his sister and that, I think he was about 9 years old. So I was just saying to Vicky, like the struggle that my man's gone through, and obviously to make it what he did in music, obviously, of course, it's iconic. But I do know that in terms of support, there was one person that I do know besides his ex-wife at the time was Swiss Beats. I know Swiss Beats was really, you know, like, that's massive. A proper friend. Yeah. Like really trying to help.
Don't forget Dragon
as well.
See, they don't even know who Dragon is.
Right, yeah. See, they wouldn't even know.
Because I follow Dragon, innit? Like, surprisingly, man liked some of my posts and all that. I couldn't believe it, bruv. I was geeked out, bruv. And like, even him, he was balling. And like, he was playing certain old tributes that he made for DMX while he was alive. And he was saying, I'm just posting this now so you know that this is my bro from long time. It's not...
Well, anyone that's foundation would understand the Rough Riders.
And that's my point. There's different people that know DMX. Look, man said Dragon. Rough Riders, Eve, Swiss Beats, you know what I mean? That Rough Riders album that had Sheik Luch and Method Man and Redman on it. Like, these lot don't know who that is. So when half the people talking about DMX now, I'm like, what DMX are you talking about, bro?
Do you feel like, because I'm looking at it now, even this article as well, like, you know, when you're dissecting what my girl's saying, where she's talking about, so you're saying she speaks about, was it Meghan and Harry?
Yes.
And saying she's disappointed of the whole. Is she an American or she just
blames Meghan Markle?
Is who an American?
No, the woman's she's from Milton Keys.
Oh, she's from the UK.
Like, she's a UK.
But that to me explains.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in a minute.
From Milton Keys explained a lot. Like to me, it made a lot of stuff make sense. But I think she was blaming Meghan Markle for the whole. She said she actually blamed her for the whole controversy with racial injustice and issues now. So that already tells you her level of ignorance.
She never even mentioned Piers
what
Morgan.
Is happening.
But
She said she blames her for the. I can't remember the exact wording, but she blames her for issues to do with race in the UK now, and she feels like it's worse than it was 400 years ago. Yep.
Now you see, we've clearly identified this sister. Yeah, we've clearly identified her.
Your sister of mine.
Yeah, she's from the UK. Sisters. When I talk about certain sisters, let's not act like you don't know the difference. This is what I'm talking about. Women like that. And what I'm saying is, there's bare of them in the creative industry as well. Bare of them that think like that. You get me? They've got this secret hatred towards black people in general. Not even just black man, just black people in general. There's a level of contempt.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Certain women will discover it when they start working in the industry, or start noticing that certain women that you thought was your sister that should have your back, they're doing snaky things behind your back with certain other executives that are white and saying certain things because they've got it in their head that when you're in that industry, there's only a certain amount of you to go that can get through as black people. So they start doing madness in the creative industry.
Start doing the most.
Acting, not necessarily in the music scene, but definitely like acting. Like if you're trying to like pitch a show, get it on BBC, or you're gonna meet bare people like that, but maybe they're a bit more covert with it. Her now, because she's blogging and all that, there's a bag of people that's online. They're just making bare blogs like this to get noticed and whatever, hoping to get maybe a free gig on the Huffington Post or whatever. I don't even know if I've mentioned that before. There's bare sisters like that, bruv. And that's why I come off Twitter. Because I literally deleted my account. Because what I realised, there were so many people like that. Nothing was coming from it. I weren't getting no news about anything relevant. Like, it wasn't really doing anything for my art stuff or anything. It's pointless.
Yeah, with Twitter, one sec, Vicky. With Twitter, I feel like, I had an account, I had a NEWMOTIVE account, bro. I think I didn't even sign in after like how many other years.
I still got the All Nights one.
It's hard to filter through the bollocks with all the shit that's going on, and I feel with Twitter, it's not really a place that I can kind of be like, from what I'm seeing, I can kind of get results in terms of working and making people think. You could, but for me, I got time to go through these Twitter armies of idiots that ain't got, they don't want to see things from a logical perspective, just want to moan and whine and whatever.
It's the complaints department for the creative industry. That's what Twitter is. That's literally what it is. You are not like, you're not going to get nothing from that. Like nothing. Like Instagram's more, because it's visual, that's more beneficial.
Yeah.
But Twitter, that's a place where if there's a rapper or actor or singer or whoever, celebrity that you like, if you want to find out anything about them, just go on Twitter. You'll find out, oh, once upon a time she had an ex-boyfriend and she hit him once upon a time. She's cancelled. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, no context. It's like, say for example, you're, let's just for all intents and purposes, you're from more Brixton, I'm from more Peckham, and it's like, if on Twitter they'll just be like, Jess, once upon a time from Brixton, did this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it didn't happen like it's just they just completely miss things out. You get me? Like,
that's generally most people nowadays with the internet.
It's like watching episode 5, season 6 Game of Thrones and starting there. And saying, Jamie Lannister's a hero. What?
That's please not even.
You get me? Like,
that's mad.
So that's why Twitter's long. So that's where that demographic of bloggers come from, because you can even tell from the heading, it's very controversial the way that she's put it out. Like, you notice it straight away. My loyalty, capital letters, loyalty.
Yeah, because you were saying, Vicky, you say she's from Milton Keynes, yeah, and I'm thinking
they even sell bulla cake over there. You know them, like, would she even talk like that?
Well, you know what, Milton Keynes, to be fair, I got most of my entire that side of the family from Milton Keynes.
You can get Jamaican seasoning. You can get Jamaica Valley seasoning.
You go Fisher Mead, you can get stuff from Fisher Mead, bro. Trust me.
Okay.
In parts of Milton Keynes, but obviously for me, when she said what she said, I don't know if it's the same thing we're thinking, but I'm thinking in terms of like, she's not really in touch.
I don't know, man. I get a feeling
what's going on in London. Like,
I got a feeling she gets her seasoning from Tesco.
Do you know, I don't think she's. Do you know what I got the impression of in reading it? She talks about how her son looks up to, how she was really proud of her son, who he done this thing and he got praised at school, and her son looks up to Prince Philip as a role model, because she said, what did you learn from him? And he was like, to try hard at things I'm really good at. And she was like learning about service to his country. So there's quite a few mind-blowing things that she's saying there, because which country are you referring to?
I think he's just saying that because it's his mum.
There's a separate issue that I have with that service to country thing.
I think he's just saying that because it's his mum.
But the thing is, I don't even, did he really say it, or is that just her interpretation?
I think that's.
Do you get what I mean? Because
no. I think he just said that to keep her quiet.
But this is the thing.
Trust me, he's listening to Pop Smoke and Nipsey Hussle, blood.
No, he's quite young though. That's the thing. He's primary school age. But
even worse, maybe he's listening to Little Nas X.
What got me about what she was saying was that you're talking about your son looking up to Prince Philip, right? Where's your son's father? Because he's present. So why is your son not looking up to his dad? Because to me, at that young age, why is Prince Philip a role model for your child?
I want to know whose house it is. I want to know if it's her yard or his yard.
But then also as well, on top of that, the whole...
No, I'm going with this.
The whole spiel that she makes around him looking up to Prince Philip and service to his country. Now, I'm assuming Prince Philip he paid some sort of service to the country, was in some form of army, right? What bugs me is what she falls into me is a very ignorant category of people, because what you're things that she says in the article, but you're basically saying that if you're in like somebody who kills someone who's in the army or who's a police officer, basically anyone with a uniform, yeah, who's legally killing somebody, it's okay. Yeah, morally it's fine. But DMX, who's taken drugs and maybe dealt drugs and has a problem that he's admitted openly, he has an issue, he's working on it, right? Like, he's not the only person in the world that's dealing with this. Not only black men deal with it, like, it's across races. You get addiction don't discriminate.
More white people really that deal with it.
But this is the thing, addiction doesn't discriminate. So she's using that as her thesis as to why she doesn't use him as a role, because she's like, how is he a role model to my sons? I'll get to that, but she's like, is he a role model?
She didn't even mention Lady Di.
This is the thing. She talks about why is he a role model to my sons? Because her thing is, well, he's a drug addict. He sold drugs, and he didn't father. He's not a present father to his 15 children. That's not true. This is the thing. So these things I was just looking at, and that already let me know she didn't know much about him. Which is fair enough if you don't know much about him. But if that's the case, why did you need to come on and talk? And she basically, to me, it's like she's basically, it's like she's reprimanding him for everything. Like, she's basically dissing him for everything. And it's like, what's the purpose of you dissing him against Prince Philip? Yes, this person has made a comment to you and they've told you they're upset. But it's one thing to say, this is my feelings towards Prince Philip. But what you've come and done is you've bashed DMX completely, and you don't know much about him to be doing that. So that, to me, doesn't make sense.
But you see, that's why I was asking if she was Christian. Because this ain't this to none of my Christian friends and family. But what I find is that a lot of my Christian friends and family, hate these people that tend to just look at anything that's against what they believe in as a sin, and it's wrong. Now, for me, there's no reason for her to talk about DMX. There's no reason for her to even write the article.
That's my point.
So it's like,
you're not even into that. That's not even her lane.
That's not even your lane. It's different if you're a commentator on that kind of stuff. So for me, it's like, to bash a black man and praise a man that probably, if he could at this current time, I mean, he doesn't care about your people. Even you being from Zimbabwe. And you see, again, this is the thing. It's not even about black people need to know their history, because the history's out there. They can know it. But it's the fact of you wanting to know. She's carrying that hatred, like you were saying before, towards black men. Because it's like, and you picked a time when my man's dead. Like, that's a bit disrespectful.
That's the thing, though. That's become very common of late.
I blame BLM for that. Black Lives Matter.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. I blame them. But it's like, when someone dies here, even people I don't like, in fact, I'm going to admit, I've done it as well. I've done it myself. Because there's certain people that have passed, but certain efferys they've done while they was alive. So I was like, no, whatever, innit?
Yeah, if it's like a Jimmy Savile or...
not necessarily that severe.
The ones there, like them kind of people.
But what I started noticing, again on Twitter, I started noticing, every time someone dies, bare stuff comes out where people are talking about them. It happened to Kobe Bryant. It happened to... And I was like... And then Oprah did a little thing about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, and with me, again, Peckham origins, the way I get down, if I got something to say to you, I'm saying that when you're alive, blood. Like, I'm not waiting till you're dead. In fact, when you're dead, I'm not even saying that. I'm just R.I.P. innit? Like,
but you see what it is? They've okayed that kind of mentality.
That's why I come off there, because
like, I can if I've got an argument or an opinion, that's even be an argument. Some of these things are not even an argument. But if I've got an opinion, like with Oprah when she did the whole thing with Michael Jackson, in my head I'm thinking, like, that's supposed to be your friend. Like, you are supposed to have been the friend or support system to the Michael. You want to bring up, and it's like, it's not even like you're dealing with a case where it's strong. It's the weakest case I've known for any celebrity or any person that has any form of association with paedophilia. The FBI, bro, investigated Donnie for 10 years. Like, and someone like Oprah has got a team of people that can do research on that. Instead, you go way past that and invite the idiots that did the documentary onto your show. She did the same thing with Russell Simmons. Remember, they were going to do Russell Simmons documentary. And Russell Simmons is like, like, these charges have all been acquitted. Like, I haven't even... You know what I'm... So it is a tearing down a black man thing. It is a type of women that are doing it. Like, it is bash that image of masculinity, I would say.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, I don't necessarily think they're doing it because they've specifically got an issue with black men. I think maybe they've just seen a niche and they're just going for it, and maybe whatever the handlers, the companies investing in them, they're encouraging it or something, or giving them some incentive.
Would you keep the same energy? Did she keep the same energy with little Nas X?
God knows.
He was directly going against, like, when I saw what I didn't even look at it, but I spent
It weren't even that deep, to be honest.
half a millisecond for me. Because exactly, it weren't that deep to me because I expected that from my man. You see, when I see him and I see the name Little Nas X, I said I already know exactly what they're gonna do.
We can chat about him as well. Like, again, it's.
Wait, hold on, sorry, Vic, was you gonna say something?
Yeah, no, just on the Christian thing, right?
Yeah, sorry.
So my only concern, because to me, you know, sometimes people show themselves in it. If you let somebody, like, if listening to what she's written or reading what she's written in an article, she's already telling you a lot about herself, right? Without saying it. So there's things that you can put together. So the fact that you're from a more not suburbs, a more white area, shall I say, right? Yeah. So there's less black people out there in Milton Keynes. Says enough, yeah, about your view on black people and how much you're going to know about black people, let's say in the UK or in the Western world, because it seems, I don't know how fresh she is, but it seems that maybe she's like first generation here.
Tariq, she's going to love this one.
Right? Literally, but one of the things, that I saw that she, to me made me laugh is she does speak about the Bible. She does speak about God at some point within there, and all that went through my head is you're already being conflictual in what you're saying,
right?
Because it also says don't judge and be compassionate, and you're showing DMX and his family
zero compassion
for no reason. This man did not come for you. He's not directly slated you for showing remorse for somebody else that's also dead. Do you get what I mean? It just,
and they don't see the growth, because again, if anyone that's listened to DMX from the beginning, even before his first album, to listening to his last interview with Nori, Drinks Champs, bare growth.
Brother, he's one of the only rappers, besides probably say not Bone Thugs and Harmony, who's the other one that I see coming out and reading the Bible and praying.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing. He's a Christian.
He's got it on his songs.
So her being a Christian,
I'm not gonna lie. When he started to reading Psalms in his album, I kind of skipped them bits. Still, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just keeping it real.
No, I hear that, and that's the thing for me, bro. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, like, she's a Christian. You haven't even done your research on the character that you're talking about, because if you did, you would humble yourself. You would know that, like, my man's it's the same thing with Kanye. My man's a troubled soul, innit? So essentially, like, I just feel like, I don't know, there's this weird sort of agenda that I'm seeing even more prevalent with, again, against masculinity, like you were saying, because what she's saying don't make no sense. Because as you can see, my man, like, I think there was a video going around of him praying on Instagram, or reading the verse from Psalms, I think, on Instagram, whatever, a clip of him doing that. But the guy was troubled, he was going through what he was going through. Now, when you look at things like the newspaper articles that are coming out, and you're there saying your loyalty is to Prince Philip, it does show your mindset and what kind of person you are. And that's, do you see where I'm coming from?
I think even when you look at just like speaking on the agenda side of it, so I just wanted to get up so I didn't get it wrong, but like they say, what do they say? So the Prince, they say beloved royal gone at age 99. Right next to it, the rapper, brilliant but troubled musician, dies at 50.
Right.
Why can't he have just been a brilliant musician? Right. Everybody's got troubles.
That's what
do you
I'm
get what I mean?
About, bro.
But it's like, to me, and I think I've said this before, it's like there's clearly some form of agenda here, because the media hear people bringing out the fact that you speak about white people in one type of way, you speak about black people in another type of way. If a crime is committed, let's say by an Asian male, he's called a terrorist very, very quickly. Do you get what I mean? If a crime on a mass scale is committed by a white person, he's troubled, he's stressed,
Lone
he's
wolf.
got mental health needs.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally, it's like, so it's like, it's very, very clear that this is happening. So I don't know, with her, to me, it's mind-boggling in terms of as to why she done it. Like, I'm so stuck on the issue of I can't comprehend why you felt so justified to write the article.
The same reason a lot of people do it. It's just attention. Because again, I didn't even know who this woman was before this. You see what I'm saying? This has become the popular thing to do. Kick someone when they're down, i.e. when they're dead, or make some tweet and say something really outlandish. It's like I kept seeing this tweet going around, says, "Oh, this guy blocks me because I said I've got a husband. What the fuck? I cheat." Like, it's just a thing to get. And then the next message you'll see after that tweet is, "Oh, while you're here, check out my eyelash business." And so it's just an attention thing. And this is what I'm saying. This is where we got to. No one's actually got any talent. Like, take this woman's foolish comparison of Prince Philip to DMX away. Has this woman written anything phenomenal that we would want to read?
Well, I
as a
wouldn't-
blogger, because everyone's a blogger. On tax credits and don't want to get a job can be a blogger. You get me? That's not a diss to anyone on tax credits, but I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying is everyone's a blogger, everyone's a vlogger, bare people doing podcasts and whatever else, but people ain't necessarily having substantial conversation. Everyone wants that key moment where they go viral and they can get a 30-second clip going, doing the rounds on Instagram. That's one of the main reasons I come to this thing, because it's proper conversation that I know that my children or grandchildren can look back and say, rah, look what dad or granddad saying.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like,
there's no viral moments here.
Yeah.
Well, there might be one or two.
And even if there is, it's for the right reasons, in a sense of man's having a conversation where people can just think and talk about subjects that are, like, not that people are scared to talk about, but people may find difficult to articulate. So,
yeah, like, man's not trying to be viral. I'm trying to be legendary.
That's what I think as well with social media. It's like it's becoming more and more extreme. So it's like
the algorithm.
Yeah, and even like with young people, you got to think if you're coming into like your teens or coming out of your teens, and this has become the norm, that you've got to be outrageous and you've got to be, do you get what I mean, really extra with it. There's like, I feel like people are becoming a bit desensitized to the reality of things. Even down to Prince Philip, I don't really care for him. So, but I didn't say nothing because, okay, somebody's lost their husband, someone's lost their dad, someone's like stripping away all the other stuff. Do you get what I mean? He's a person and they're people. Whether or not I care for you in any capacity, you're a person. So I chose to not speak to it. I didn't post nothing to say mourning or condolences, and I won't say why because it's not very nice, but I don't really care. Do you get what I mean? But it's to me, it's outside of my realm. And I think with social media, there are pros to being able to access other people, but I don't like taking on other people's grief when it's not necessary. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. If I'm going to have downfalls in my life or moments of where I'm losing people, let me deal with my own grief and let that be that. I'm not trying to now take on all this extra grief that's going on around the world, because if you look for bad things, there's bad things happening every day. The news tells you. Do you go switch on the news and all you're going to hear is depressing stuff? And it
goes, what you were saying as well for the, the algorithm and everything for the internet, it goes right back to that little Nas X thing.
Yeah, I was touching that in a sec.
No, it's touching it now.
The
guy he's trash. He's not even good.
I don't know who he is.
No, he's just a rapper. He made that song Old Town Road. The Old Town Road tune was a catchy little pop.
That guy.
But that was the only tune he's made. He has not made any music since then.
Yeah,
that people are liking. But what I don't like, not necessarily about him, but what people are saying about him is, oh, the kids are listening to this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's like they're gonna take this on, and I'm like, nah. To me, Little Nas X, he's just an online personality that happens to have one hit song. Now he's trying to stay relevant. He's done bare madnesses to stay relevant because he can't make a hit song. Just like my girl, she is not a writer that anyone cares about. So you need to write these things. You need to keep on doing this stuff. Yeah, but it's like enough of these drill rappers. They haven't made good songs, so they have to do something on Instagram or Snapchat.
Just the trend or
ducking down their ups, so they're trending. Have you made a good tune? Have you made a good album? Can you make a good body of work? That's what I'm saying. You're artists, and these lot want attention. So with Little Nas X now, even with a Nike thing, because he made a trainer in it, like this something about he's got human blood in it. What kind of foolishness is that? I remember there was a time there was the same trainers in white and blue, and they said it's got holy water in it. So that was just a little. I know. But what it is, I think what his company did, they must have bought like bare trainers, and you can customize them and all them things. And then he put it back out and sold. And then Nike are counter-suing them now for that.
Yeah.
But here's a joke.
Oh, so Nike didn't authorize my man to...
But here's a joke. What Nike did do, and I think it was a gangster move, they must have put out the same, I think the Air Max 97s, the one that's got the little... Anyway, the same trainers, but without all his Satan stuff, but the red and black ones.
Oh, okay.
So they put it out at the same time. Yeah, we're going to sue you, but seeing as you made the red and black ones hot now, let's put it back out. So I'm getting bare things in my Facebook algorithm about buying trainers because, I've been buying a lot of trainers lately. Honourable mention, them trainers go out of my outfit that I'm wearing right now as well.
Yeah, you see,
I kind of want to buy them. So maybe it kind of works on me.
The Little Nas X thing, yeah?
It worked. No, I'm joking. No, it didn't work.
I was waiting for that joking part. I was thinking, right. You know that, right?
But the point is, some people were saying that youths were listening to Little Nas X and he's inspiring youth to do this kind of stuff. And I'm like, youths don't even listen to him like that. And when one man said it, a couple people, older people, they're older than me. Oh, this is what the youth listen to. I said, do you have like Instagram or Snapchat When have you ever seen any of the youths with a little Nas X tune playing in the background when they're doing their snaps?
Bro,
They're listening to Pop Smoke.
bro, it's not even
They're
that.
listening to maybe Dave East. They're not listening to Lil Nas X. In fact, Dave East dissed Nas X one time as well, saying that his music is whack.
Yeah, good.
And you know the joke is they said, oh, he's being homophobic.
Because he dissed a gay person.
Oh yeah, guess what? He's gay. But did we even mention that? And this one trying to say all these things that people do.
The kids, we've allowed 6ix9ine to come in. Yeah.
We?
Well, okay. When I say we, I'm talking about just
you careful now.
You know, parents in general. I mean, my son will never, and if he does ever see 6ix9ine, I'm going to tell him, you know, this is a special person. You know, he's not really, you know what's there, fam.
Nah, he's saying it too nice, blood. What Uncle Wayne needs to be in the building. I'll just say straight, he's a batio. Don't listen to that. Fight for that.
Them man, they're not real. You know what's there, fam? They're cartoon characters that somehow got whatever. But either way, like, we allowed 6ix9ine. So I'm sorry. There's the Little Nas next thing for me. When I saw that, again, like I said, this agenda, I just feel like they're just attacking masculinity hard now because it's too consistent. Do you see where I'm coming from? And even with like the whole, like, I don't know. I got a question for you, lot. Yeah,
I got toxic masculinity and I'm proud.
Bro, I don't even believe in that toxic
Bruv,
masculinity.
I'm a nuclear reactor up in this piece.
What's toxic to you? You know what's there? What's toxic to you might actually be fruitful for another person.
But do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. On that, I do believe it exists, but I also feel like there's toxic femininity as well.
No,
I think
I
it goes
believe
both
it
ways.
exists
There's
as well.
toxic
No, but
behaviours. Do you get what I mean?
I hear that, but
Yeah.
I feel like what people tend to do is so they will say, "Oh, Vicky doesn't like guys with natural hair." Yeah.
Okay.
And there might just be an association with guys with natural hair as to be, I don't know, masculine or whatever. Oh, she's toxic. You see where I'm coming from? I feel like the opinions are now getting labelled with labels. If the person's toxic, they're toxic. You see where I'm coming from? If a man is walking around and he's pushing around his weight, his masculinity in the gym and whatnot, and he's trying to... He's just a toxic person.
Do you know
I'm
what it is?
toxic and proud, blood.
On the basis of it, I do think it exists mainly in the sense of, and I think when it's associated with genders, because I think it's associated with the stereotypes that go with genders. So, for example, if a guy is like, is
like
basically trying to is using the fact that he's a male, and as a woman you should to suppress a woman or his woman, that's toxic masculinity.
Example of
Do you know what I mean?
Give me an
And
example
then-
of suppression.
So, for example. For example, a guy that's not, let's say he's not working, he's not doing nothing, but he's telling his woman who is working and doing everything to provide for the household, you can't do this and you should be cooking and you
Stop
should be,
right there.
because he's, because he's putting her in the role of feminist. But let me finish first, because I do
No,
want
I'm
to do,
agreeing with you. but-
go on.
I do want
Finish,
to do the flip side of it also with
No, stick to the man. You don't have to
no,
flip
but
it.
no, I'm not. I'm flipping it on purpose because I feel like toxic femininity isn't spoken about. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can do
usually
that
see
well.
it. But I usually see it with women against women, and that's where I tend to associate it the most. And I do see it. I do understand
What
it.
do you mean by women against women? Like,
So, for example, you've got, let's say there's like you've kind of got these women that exist in society that love to tell other women, real women would do this, and real women don't do that, and that judgment of who the hell are you to come and tell me what a real woman is? Yeah, my organs to me, my body parts make me a woman. That's it. Who I am out like as a person, personality wise, characteristic wise, is just what makes me Vicky, right? But you've got a group of women that I feel like exist around the world, and they sort of spout these toxic notions towards women. So things like, for example, let's say you kind of have these girls that try to set the moral standard for like, this is how women behave, but they'll be doing the most. So easiest example I can use is you see it within the church. Yeah. Like Drew on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we're watching that. So Drew on the show has been, she's been saying, like, she's been going at Latoya.
yeah.
I don't know who these people are, by the way.
No, but they're very easy to side with Drew, right? Within the group. But when you look at it, so they were questioning, I think they had like a male stripper around. Drew's doing the most on the table. Stripper's got his face in her ass. She's a married woman, right? And her mum's a pastor. She goes to church, etc. Now, I wouldn't be bringing those things up had she not, behaved in this way. But she randomly on the trip, they're sitting down. She says to Latoya, "Why aren't you drinking? Didn't you say you weren't going to drink anymore?" But Latoya's saying, "I'm not drinking." She should not explain to people why. She's like, "Yeah, but you went to church and said you weren't going to drink anymore because it makes you this way." So Latoya quickly is like, "That's not what's happened, basically." And to me, whatever intimate thing she's had or she said in church is not your business to now be putting on blast. Do you get what I mean? Because it's like you've taken it to shame her. Yeah. she tries to make Latoya out to be a whore, but Latoya's point is, you've come for me and said I don't respect marriage. So when I now come, it looked at sideways. Why? I'm only doing the same thing that you're doing. Do you get what I mean? So this has been happening over a period of time, and in the most recent one, she's trying to say that Latoya is preying on a prophet on the church. She's like, you're preying on the church, you're preying on the prophet of the church, you're preying on this man. Like, this man don't have no decision with what he does. He's weak in it. So if Latoya makes moves, that's it. He's going to falter and fall. But what Canty Perez makes a point of saying is they're both accountable. They're two consulting adults. Do you get what I mean? And what he does in his private life is his own business. But where I see the toxicness in femininity is what she's trying to do is she's trying to label her a whore to push her out of the in circle. Do you get what I mean? And for a lot of the women, it's working straight away. There's no question to it. And it's like, we don't like Latoya because Latoya goes against... in the
workplace.
Do you get what I mean? It's like Latoya goes against what we stand for as women. But these women are all doing mad... You've all done madnesses. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, you're all questionable. It's like when you...
I don't know. I hear what you're saying. It's like when you go college and that, and you got the pretty... Or work. You get the pretty new girl that comes into work, and man, them are all onto her. And then the local girls, the normal girls are like, oh, she's a slut, or she's a whore, or she's a junge, or... But it's like you don't even know her. But already you're saying that because of the way she's freely always with the guys, or she's always with... And one thing one of my brethren said to me, she said, you know what, Jess, I can't even lie. I get on more with guys than I get on with girls because of the same thing. Because every time I get around a batch of girls, there's always this so-called standard that they try to use. And then they try to say, oh... Everyone
must go by.
Everyone must go by. But the person that invented that standard in that group is the worst one.
She's doing the madness.
She's doing the madness. She's doing the most. But because no one can really... Bro, it's peak, you know. Women are the most biggest manipulators, fam, when it comes to this thing. Like,
but what I will say, just on that note, it doesn't mean that sometimes the girl is not doing the madness. She's not in that way. Because not everyone. Some girls will use that as an excuse, but they are bitchy towards other girls as to why girls might... If you say, I don't get along with girls, have you made an effort to get along with a girl? Right. Or is it just you take everything in a certain type of way? So I feel like with everything it's questionable, but that toxic femininity, I'm telling you, it very much exists.
I know.
Thank you for saying that, because
I'm gonna give you one. It's 3 girls. Oh yeah, we're going out tonight. Just going to a bar. Just come casual. Just come casual.
That's exactly what it's all about.
So yeah, the girl comes casual. Yeah. She's wearing a jean jacket, pair of Huaraches, jeans. But her brethren's wearing some dress and them thing there to outshine her when she's round the man them. And then she's underdressed.
Yeah.
That little sneaky behaviour there. I've been calling that behaviour out since DMX's album. And I never called it toxic femininity, but man's known. And that's what I'm trying to say. These titles. Yeah. So going back now to the whole term toxic masculinity, the reason I laugh at it now, and I just openly say toxic, I'm going to get a t-shirt saying toxic on it, because I laugh at it now, because it's
like it doesn't even mean what it
don't
really
mean
means.
anything now. There's a rapper called Trapstar Toxic. He's good, by the way. And it's like, what I'm saying is the word toxic, it's just everyone uses it now. The other word narcissist and this, that, and the third.
You see that? No, you see that word there, brother. That narcissist word.